think it should be recorded. Let me just double check. Okay, cool. It's being recorded. All right, thanks, guys. Thanks for joining. We're just going to give it a minute or two. I think it's pretty last minute, so I'm surprised Matt is here. Isn't this like 2, 3, or 4 a.m. for you, Matt? What time is it for you? Okay, it's probably at night, so he's only listening in. Yeah, so this is being recorded. I sort of wanted to do this sort of pop-up AMA because I was thinking about how to sort of make this announcement. Do I do it via text? Do I do it via video recording? And I thought I'll just make something live just for a while, just a little pop-up. It's not going to be a long one. And then people who have sort of missed it because of time zones, they'll be able to sort of re-watch it and then ask questions later. But okay, let's sort of go straight to the point kind of thing. I'm not gonna, you guys waited long enough, so I'm not gonna like hold it back too long. In terms of announcement this week, pretty much one of the biggest, or I mean, the most exciting thing about what we're gonna announce this week, and we're gonna announce it in like sort of piecemeal because there's certain aspects of this announcement that is not sort of finalized yet. And maybe I'll sort of take a step back and sort of talk about like, you know, what could have been the potential questions, right, that were sort of happening. And a lot of potential questions was like, you know, how come we see Josh working a lot with WeGG, doing their AMAs, promoting stuff in the lounge, etc., and all that, what's sort of happening there. So sort of want to clear that up with a mini announcement here within our group first. And then we're gonna work on the socials and the marketing to make bigger announcements then. And then at the same time, in between, we're gonna try to answer as many questions as we can, so that you know, coming announcements, coming official announcements, you guys will be sort of pretty much aware of what's happening before the public, so that you know how to sort of address it and also at the same time shield it. It's pretty exciting times right now. You know, we can see movements in crypto, very exciting movements. We can see a lot of tokens being launched as well. And you know, recently we see like even 1000x. That was pretty possible. So pretty exciting times. I myself have my own TAs of what's going to happen. I think it's going to dip a bit more, but that's a different conversation that we can have separately to this announcement. But really tonight, a real big announcement that I'm going to sort of give to you guys, and I'm going to let it sit there and maybe wait for you guys to sort of maybe ask certain questions, would be right now, JEDSTAR the way it is, as well as KDArena, the sort of, you know, Web 2 part where we have all the gamers. You guys saw we've sort of slowed down there. We've also slowed down a lot in terms of JEDSTAR. We've been having a lot of talks of going to CACs and all, which, by the way, are part of the same talks with the same people. This whole announcement is pretty much to tell you guys that JEDSTAR, KDArena, and WeGG are all going to combine together and be one big sort of happy family. When I say sort of, it's pretty much a big happy family. It's because a lot of the vision that we're sort of working on, we're pretty much aligned. You know, crypto adoption through gaming, targeting Web 2 gamers and starting onboarding them onto Web 3 through a seamless way, building products, games, and promoting projects which are worth promoting in the Web 3 space. Sort of those are the kind of things that we're sort of aligned with. And that's sort of the big announcement that we have right now, is that we're going to be as one, JEDSTAR, KDArena, and WeGG together under the whole WeGG umbrella. Just to give you some sort of you know, background on WeGG. So WeGG started like a year ago as YGGC. You know, that whole play to earn era where the hype was really big. They raised about close to 15 million in 2022. A lot of that 50 million went to investing into great games, great projects. They've got about like 70 investments right now in various different games, 70. Obviously, that was in 2022. Out of that 70, quite a few have sort of passed on and moved on to other things, but there's still a good chunk that that we see are going to be pretty awesome right now, especially with the bold run of them launching and knowing that us coming together, they've been invested by the main YGG, which is under Ronin and under the whole X Infinity team. Also, Animoca Brands is part of their investors as well, and a whole bunch of other investors. So we are coming in to play with the big boys right now, and we are coming in as one. The team mainly like sort of the sort of top layer team, like myself, Terry, Ryan will be joining them in various roles as well officially. I'll be part of like they currently have a CEO and a CFO, which you guys know, the co-founders Irene and Chin. I'll be sort of coming in as a very unique title, Chief Growth Officer. So my role is pretty much to make shit go to the moon. That's pretty much what my title is. Terry will be joining as CTO, Ryan as Chief Branding Officer or Chief Creative Officer. He's working on the whole rebrand of VGG. Terry's looking at all the whole tech side of things, looking at implementing whatever we've been building with JEDSTAR and how we can sort of implement it within the whole VGG ecosystem. And yeah, that's pretty much where we're at. In terms of the rest of the team, we have admins, etc., and all that. We have you guys, community members. What's going to sort of happen? We are all going to sort of come into one. We're going to do it in phases, and we're going to do it in sort of groups, because obviously, they have their current group right now, which is very mainly focused on Southeast Asia. We have our group. Well, we can mingle with them. There are certain aspects and strength of the whole community that we have now currently. That's going to be the VGG community that we have, that we're going to keep and maintain, and just sort of the short news. We are looking at launching a token together, and in terms of token, we'll come back to that in a bit. We're looking at launching a token together, and it's going to be on KEX. Obviously, that's part of the conversations that I've been having, already with JEDSTAR. It's going to be launched on KEX. We're targeting the end of April to May. So the exact date is not finalized, but in terms of closing the deals, signing shit up, all of that sort of prep, and what is going to sort of happen to us in terms of, when I say happen to us, what happens to the token. While we are working on the exact number on how we are going to do it. So the who and the why. The who is basically VGG. The why is why we're coming back. Why we're coming together. So we're coming in to be like a stronger group that's going to really sort of ride this bull run. That's sort of defined already. The how. Obviously, we are talking about from a corporate perspective. We're talking about mergers and acquisitions, right? And it takes some time. And that's one of the reasons why. It was really hard to sort of share the news earlier. I managed to get green light from investors, VGG, etc., and all that to sort of discuss this, because it can be pretty sensitive. When it comes to merger and acquisitions, and it takes a long time. Some of them take like many years. Obviously, us being in a crypto world, we're not in a Web2 world. Many years means many weeks, many months. For us to sort of close this deal, what we've not sort of really defined yet are the actual numbers in terms of how the token will be given back to the community, swapping from JED, CRED, and all the other things that we have into the new token that we're going to launch on KEX. I personally, as you guys know, making all these decisions, I wear sort of two hats. One is being the one that's supporting and to a certain extent leading the team. Two is also as a bag holder of JEDSTAR, of JED and CRED. So obviously from both perspectives, I need to sort of balance it. But the main one is it's not a deal that I would not have done if for myself as a holder, I didn't think it would be beneficial for all of us. Beneficial in many ways. You guys know Animoca in Web2, we're talking about games like the Power Rangers game. In Web3 we have like Mocaverse, we have the Sandbox, and VGG itself investing into games over I think they invested like close to 15, like over 14 million, and with partners like you've seen recently, we've seen certain moon coins that sort of launched, like Pixel that 1000x, Heroes of Mavia recently launched before 3 weeks ago, which about 300 times X. We are now part of a family that basically has no other intention but to go to the moon. So yeah, that's pretty much the summary of what I'm announcing right now. This is going to really be a short pop-up AMA, so I'm just coming here making this announcement because, like I said, I didn't know how to sort of put this on a message. I didn't want to sort of record it. It just felt a bit like I thought it would fall flat. I really wanted to be a bit more interactive, so after sort of saying and announcing all this, I just want to open it up to the floor and see if there's any questions from you guys. And please don't be shy to ask any questions. I'm going to mute myself. Okay. If there's no questions, I'll just leave it at this, and then it's a recording, so I'll let people sort of digest it, go through the recording, really understand it. Like I said, official announcements are going to be made pretty soon. We actually want to make one next week. So we're going to sort of finalize a lot of things for the announcement by next Wednesday, and hopefully announce by end of the week. We're going to make some PR announcements, etc., and all that. What is sort of not finalized yet, and it will take a bit of time, is the numbers, because we're talking about a huge chunk of numbers right now. If you look at like total token worth, it goes into like the 8 digits. So we're talking about a lot of numbers, and we need to consider both parties. We need to make sure that we on our end, because we're going to be part of this family. There is something sort of beneficial for us to be part of the family, but also, in every sort of marriage, there needs to be sort of benefits on their side as well. So balancing all that is not easy. But at the end of the day, it is something, and we're going to do AMAs where, the co-founders like Irene and Shin will talk to you guys as well. Everything is sort of all about a win-win situation. And we hope that you guys will be pretty excited about this, because I personally am, because I'm personally I've been working on JEDSTAR and KDArena, and the conversations with regards to what is going to be the future with this bull run and the KEX, etc., and all that, and pretty much aligned with WeGG. And we've seen that combining forces and sort of pseudo relaunching a token plus a new version of it and rebrand it would sort of really benefit and be able to ride this bull run in a much better way than we would have had if we were going to sort of just be alone as JEDSTAR against the world. So that's something that I'm really excited about. But then again, there's a lot of details that we need to share with you guys. That obviously, JEDSTAR is a huge ecosystem. We're talking about, there's tokens, there's SFTs, there's vaults, there's our games. So there's a lot of things in there that we need to sort of really think about and think properly, so that nobody sort of loses out there. And also at the same time be able to benefit from it. And yeah, I'll just keep quiet for a second. If we don't have any questions, I'm just gonna wrap it up and and wait for the questions that are gonna appear on the chat. So if you guys have anything that you guys and even if it's not a question, even if it's just a comment, even if it's just to say, oh, you guys expected it, because I don't know, maybe some people sort of managed to put like 1+1, or maybe for some it's like it comes at a total surprise, because we had a lot of things in our pipeline. One thing that I want to sort of make sure to emphasize on is we are sort of being part of a much bigger family right now. So we're looking at what we can do with WeGG, but also we are not denying what we're building and looking at with JEDSTAR. One of the values of us coming together is whatever we started building and whatever roadmap we have are sort of going to be incorporated. So most of it, if not all of it, actually technically all of it will be in some way or another incorporated in this whole larger ecosystem. Oh, did anybody raise their hand? Sorry, because I didn't see it. Yeah, wait, hold on, give me a second. I need to delete some GIFs from Laurent S.
What do you need to delete? I didn't even do anything.
I can see those. Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. I thought somebody already blocked my stuff in the main. I don't know why.
Oh, so they're already deleted. Yeah, okay, fine. Yeah, I guess you can still see them. Yeah. Is anybody raising their hand? I can see messages that maybe there are people raising their hand, but I can't see them for some strange reason. If you're raising your hand, if you have any questions, you can just drop them in the official chat. Okay, there is a few now that I'm in it. Okay, I'll take those questions one by one. And if you guys want to speak, do say that. If you guys want to speak, I can like sort of unmute you guys as well. If you guys want to ask for questions, but yeah, so I'll allow you guys to speak. If you guys want to speak, you can just unmute yourself. But okay. So in terms of the games we are building, so we've already built the foundations for the game that we're building. But there's a few things that we want to do first before really pushing it forward and before really launching it. So the main two things is one, token price and liquidity. Because building games is not easy, right? So if we sort of focus on building the games, one thing about building games, and we've started building those foundations, and in no way are we going to think about stopping them. But one thing about building games is it takes time, and with time it takes money as well. So for us, that's why it was a huge priority, one, to build that whole KDArena side, to sort of be able to grow a huge number of like potential Web2 users and them coming in and using our platform, sort of build credibility in the Web3 space that we have. We have the users, and two, with Jed and Cred launching on Kexus, to build some liquidity on our side, because building games is not cheap. So those are the two factors that we were looking at before continuing really pushing our games to the next level. Now, both of those requirements that we're looking to fulfill is being done with our sort of marriage and merger with WeGG. So one is that whole clear adoption, increasing adoption of all our platforms, and two, launching on Kex, getting liquidity. One of the great parts of being part of the WeGG family, like I said, invested in over 70 games, is we also have the expertise and experience of all these game companies that we can sort of learn from. And from us, from there, it's really to sort of understand what are the potential shortfalls. But one thing that we are really earning there is, before that, JEDSTAR was going to gamble. I said gamble. We're going to launch a few games and see whether they're going to work. Now we are a much bigger ecosystem that owns 70 or over games. All we need is to have, 1 or 2x infinities, and that's it, right? We're sort of to the moon kind of thing. So that's sort of linked and related. But to answer your question, yes, it's definitely in the pipeline. When and how, we're going to focus on a token launch first before we look at all the other things that we were planning to do on our roadmap. Obviously, certain things will come before that. Like we're going to have another version of staking, marketplace, etc., and they'll all come along. But while the games are in the pipeline, we're looking at like at least a 12-month kind of roadmap there in terms of starting or launching anything. Then in terms of the website, well, obviously because we're merging, we're definitely going to update it, and we'll have to eventually sunset one and focus on the other. Then in terms of the trading question, yes, definitely we'll have to stop trading because it wouldn't make any sense to continue trading. We're right now working on the numbers, and the numbers are pretty much fixed. After this announcement, we're going to do snapshots and going to be stop trading. I will give it a few hours, but also at the same time, we're going to monitor. So guys, like, don't go all out or go crazy, because the investors in this merger for this token launch. So when I say the investors, it's pretty much, if you're going to launch on KEX, we need, like, within the 6 or 7 digit, right? We need somebody to provide the liquidity. We need somebody to pay the KEX fees. So these are sort of the investors sort of on top, and they monitor this merger as well. If they see certain things going, they have a lot of analysts. If they see us, I was going to use the word insider trading, but it's not. It's just me informing you guys. But if based on this, we're going to pump the token too much, there are going to be certain issues there that we're going to need to look at, and we're going to need to take like a sort of, it will slow down things in certain ways. But we'll definitely start taking a snapshot. I just don't want to catch people off guard, because there are certain people who are in time zones that are still sleeping. So we're not gonna do that, but we're gonna take a snapshot a bit later. And then for snapshot, we're gonna stop trading. So there's gonna be a snapshot first, where this is it, guys. It doesn't matter if you buy $10,000 worth of JED or CRED. We're not gonna count it in, and then we're gonna entirely stop trading as well. Yeah, I mean that's a really good point. So one thing about VGG, and this is one of the reasons why we really took a long time, right? Because one, the token, it's a really difficult math. Like, it takes me a week to prepare a proposal and a suggestion, and it takes a week for like 10 analysts to look through it and then come back and see whether it can be approved. And then when they look through it, maybe they'll have one small change, and then it takes me about another week to sort of really make sure that this change is correct, etc., and all that. So with this back and forth, it can take like, it took us like 8 weeks, and 8 weeks is 2 months. It passed really fast, but because these are sort of really things that we need to get right. Then there's other aspects of it, which is the IP. So obviously, VGG has a roadmap. We have a roadmap. Some of our roadmaps intertwine. Some of them are like, okay, now suddenly we have an IP and we have, we have JED, we have Alistar, we have Kali. What are we going to do with them? So there's that whole conversation behind that. And then after that, we have other things like all the apps, like, staking, Silverhold, the platform we're building with, the chain with Saphirium, etc. And that. So there's really sort of a lot of things to talk about, and actually, but those things, one thing is those things are things. One thing that I feel that we don't look at enough is the people. I think the people that we have in our community within JEDSTAR is actually one of the most valuable assets we have, and I don't want it to be sort of really diluted in some ways. And I'm not saying with VGG sort of being a dilution. What I'm saying is, I think everybody has their role. And so, yes, with VGG, we are going to really increase the number. Right now, when we calculate KDArena, JEDSTAR, and VGG, we're over 3 million right now, right? But it's 3 million totally separated and segregated community members. So without diluting them, because I personally feel like you can't mix certain groups with certain groups, then it just all goes to shambles. We need to find a way to get everyone together, but also at the same time be able to categorize and put people in certain sort of spaces where their strengths are or their passion are, to sort of lead that. So the community is also a huge thing to talk about, and that's why this conversation has really been going a long time, because there's just a lot of moving parts. Pre-migration buys, SFTs in the pipeline. So Kaiser, you're talking about new SFTs, or you're talking about existing? If you're talking about existing, everything that we have built would have in some ways or another connection back to whatever WeGG has right now or whatever we're planning with WeGG. So you guys downloaded Silver Vault and you guys have vaults. There's going to be use case to vaults. We might swap the name to something else just to match the branding. But there'll be something to do there with the vaults. SFTs, they have utility right now. They're going to have utility as well within the WeGG ecosystem. So nothing that we have built previously would be outdated or sunset in terms of what amount of time or money you guys invested in. And yes, it's being recorded right now. I can't hear anything. Can everybody else hear it? Oh, I'm not talking.
No, we can hear you. All good.
Yeah, great. If not, it would have been funny. I've been like speaking for like last 15 minutes here. Yeah. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I think the biggest question, so I feel the two biggest questions, and I'll address the easier one first, would be like, what happens to everything else? So what happens to games? What happens to SFTs? What happens to, the potential PFPs, star staking, vaults, etc. Everything that we've sort of built, all of that will be integrated into WeGG in some ways or another with some slight regigs, but all will have utilities and will be part of the ecosystem. That's one. Two would be like, okay, what happens to our token, which is, I think, the question that everybody will sort of ask. We are looking at swapping all your tokens, JED and CRED, and another token that someone always posts and give about, all sort of combined together and look at the USD value and swap it for X amount of the USD value for WeGG. That's what we're looking at. Now we're just looking at how do we sort of give it out and share it with people. But end of the day, for me, that's actually like, while we need to get it right, for me, that's actually a small thing, because regardless, we are talking about, and if you guys just have a look, like, for example, on CoinMarketCap, like all the portfolio companies that Animoca brands sort of invested in certain ways, and also the games that we partner with, and when I say we, it's like the WeGG of the we of WeGG, not the we of we, that we has invested in or are partners with. A lot of them just sort of went to the moon. We just wanted to sort of make it efficient. Why have 2, 3, 4 tokens? I'm talking about what we have in JEDSTAR, what we have in WeGG, and spend all those various different amounts of liquidity in marketing, in CAC fees. Why don't we just combine all together, work together, and then just pretty much go all out and send it to the top, that one token that we will work together to do so. Yeah, so Agora, PFPs, all pretty much, we will sort of integrate it in some ways or another. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. So we will. The answer is soon. So pretty much we will make official announcements soon. But we're looking at doing a token launch like sometime in April and May. The exact date, well, Irene and Chin really want to launch in May. I think it's really May is really want to launch in April. I think April is coming like really fast. I want us to do, and one of the beauties of it is obviously WeGG has a really nice marketing budget and partners to sort of work with. So that's going to be awesome. I do want to spend some time. I don't want to say some time. I'm talking about 1-2 weeks. Focus on how do we grow our community, how do we grow how do we maximize our marketing budget. But within the next few days after this, and everybody sort of hear this, I'm gonna sort of really somewhat work on shifting a bit in terms of branding. There's going to be a long-term plan of branding, so Ryan is working on it right now. But I think the initial plan of branding for us to make sure that it's successful for all of us, because this token launch is going to be our token launch, is that people don't get confused of who we are. So we might sort of, we would have to sort of follow the branding that we have right now. So it's going to be some really quick and maybe sudden changes in terms of branding, so that we can already start shilling, guys, we're gonna freaking launch and this is who we are. We're also gonna sort of give you some ammo in terms of like what WeGG is. And one of the roles I'm coming in is to sort of help grow the community and the marketing, but also at the same time we'll sort of relook at the white paper. The white paper was very, I would say very trying to find the right word. Was a very corporate and legal document. That's what it was. But actually, within the tokenomics itself, there's really a lot of things to shill. And pretty much you guys will be familiar with it, because everything that we sort of said we're going to do with JEDSTAR is going to be part of that. You know, that whole social part of it, that whole social aspect of it, that whole, UGC aspect of it. Rewarding people for their contribution, and obviously the whole GameFi and DeFi aspect of it, the traditional ones. A lot of it will be part of like who we are and what's going to be the use of the token, so that we can then really start pushing. We've been quiet, we've been dormant for like over 2 years right now, and thank you guys for being patient. And I told you guys, let's not shill too much. We're building. There's really nothing to shill. Now we are going to have something to shill, and we're going to prepare all the ammunition for you guys, and then LFG, let go. Okay, I pretty much went a bit longer than I was expecting to. So if you guys have any more questions, I'm just going to answer throughout the chat. But thank you guys for listening. For those who are going to hear the recording when they wake up, I hope that you guys won't be too shocked or surprised. But besides that, I wish you guys a happy Friday and a happy weekend, and speak to you guys soon. See you later.